Hey, how are ya? How you be doing? You know that moment when you open up your preferred social media app and you see that, yes, indeed, the end of the world is closer than you think. With all these political news stories, hate speech, or public figure cancellations that stem from the most trivial of things? If so, stay tuned for this video, because I've got some ranting to do about just that. Now, if you've been around since the early days of the internet, you know that this shit ain't what it used to be. I mean, sure, throughout the years it's had its pros and cons, and there's always been hateful idiots and weird asses everywhere. But particularly, it seems that since the earliest days of COVID, the internet has just become a dumping ground for people's displaced anger and projection of jealousy. And when you do find wholesome, positive, truly informative, truly made from a genuine place kind of content, it always gets tarnished eventually by some moron who wants to inject some unasked critique and kill off any sense of hope or love in someone's heart to find recruits for their miserable pig cult. That's just my fancy way of saying misery loves company. Personally, I've been on the internet for quite some time. I'm 32 now. I've been an avid YouTube viewer since 2007, and I've been on social media in general since 2010. And I've had this YouTube channel almost 2 years. It will be 2 years next month. And in this span of almost 18 years of regular internet use, I have seen and experienced a lot. I've seen internet trends come and go. I've fallen in love with original creators and their work. And I've just seen some downright stupidity and lunacy that make me feel better about myself. But it wasn't until I started making my own videos here on YouTube for the entire ass world to see and give their opinion on that I consciously realized how much of the internet survives off of negativity and ugliness. And you know, one of the first things that you're taught as a newbie on this platform when you're doing research on how to get subscribers and get views, all that stuff that goes into being a good creator and have a channel that grows. This is real life, people. I answer texts, I belch, and sip my coffee. But back to learning about how to do YouTube. And this can go for being a creator on any type of social media platform, not just YouTube. But it's taught by so-called online creative experts. They always tell you that in order to grow and be successful, that you have to be controversial, give an unpopular opinion, or pretty much anything else that pretty much generates hate comments and heated arguments in order to be recognized by the platform's algorithm and push out your content to more people. And if you're lukewarm and have nothing but good things to say or doing wholesome things with your content, you will pretty much be ignored and you won't grow at all. And yeah, I do agree, that is pretty fucked up and unfair. And as far as on the YouTube end of things, it's really making me fucking miss the golden era of social media, where shit was just fun and entertaining. Like on Instagram, when people were just taking snapshots of their daily life and posting pictures just for the sake of wanting to capture a good memory. The playfulness and unseriousness of Vine. And if we're speaking on the YouTube end of things, like Film Cow videos, the channel responsible for the creation of animated skits like Charlie the Unicorn and Llamas with Hats. Jenna Marbles and all her comedic glory. Viners turned YouTubers and all their storytime videos. And if you and I are the same in the sense that we both cope with the negativity that dominates the digital landscape by watching Jenna Marbles videos, hoping she'll come back one day, then stick around. Because I think this video might likely vibe with you on a spiritual level. Now, I think it's apparent to anyone who has any type of social media account or is involved in some aspect of online discourse that the most basic opinion can be convoluted into a tyrannical rebuttal or full-blown political debate. Like on Threads, you literally could just make a post that says, Aldi's is so cool. And then the next thing you know, somewhere in the comment section, there's some dodo bird saying that you're being complicit to capitalism by shopping at a chain grocery store. Now, this didn't actually happen. That was just a theoretical, illustrative example of how saying or doing the most innocent thing on the internet can easily get warped and twisted into something it's not. Like at this point, people want to be offended. When there's nothing to put up a fist about, in the online atmosphere, people convolute anything they come across and put their own negative spin on it. And with where internet culture is right now, it's almost trendy to find anything that can easily be taken out of context or misworded and just completely flip it upside down on its head and present it in a light that's negative or controversial. Y'all remember that stupid "ask what color is the dress" debate? Like, it is clear to anyone who doesn't have color blindness that it's white and gold. I mean, I know this is kind of an older example, but these kind of stupid, unnecessary debates about things that stem from ideas and conversations that really are not that deep. A phenomenon we now know today as rage bait. Now, much of this negativity can be found on social media apps and other socialized digital spaces that run ads, like YouTube and really popular and active blogs. And of course, naturally, the more people that have free access to occupy a space, having the First Amendment right to spill an opinion, asked or unasked, is bound to be filled with people whose brains can't compute the act of social etiquette. But when we look at it from a psychological standpoint, humans as a species are wired to be alert to threats at all times. And when people are getting exposed to things like horrible news and online hate trains of public figures when they first open up their phone in the morning, there's this nagging nudge to be informed. And if you aren't, you'll be out of the loop of conversations amongst friends, co-workers, and other peer groups. Or if there's a threat of a disaster, you want to be prepared, so you go down fear-mongering rabbit holes that cause nothing but labored breathing and heart palpitations. And when you combine this with the fact that many of these platforms that run ads and make their big bucks from the amount of people that come onto their platforms and stay on them for an extended period of time, here's the math that makes it work. More negativity equals more time spent online equals large ad profits for these digital media corporations. So all these mood dampening stories and content that triggers strong human emotions is intentionally pushed by algorithms into users' feeds and are prioritized as top news and now trending. The goal is to keep people on sites and apps for as long as possible. So the billionaires running these media empires can make more money they don't need, exploit their employees, and keep its consumers dependent on hive mind propaganda and biased reporting, all for the sake of staying informed. Now, remember how I said earlier the internet is a dumping ground for misplaced anger and dissatisfaction with one's own life? Well, I'm gonna elaborate a little more on that. Digital communication is not as confrontational as in-person or face-to-face communication, where reactions and counter-arguments and natural consequences require immediacy. It's more difficult for one to vehemently disagree or start a fight with a coworker, because workplace conflict is a threat to one's survival, because there's the risk of getting fired and losing that paycheck. But if it's just some rando online that they will never see face-to-face, there's no incentive to stay cordial despite wanting to cut a motherfucker's throat. It provides a false sense of security that one won't suffer the consequences of their actions from saying what they want. And here's something from an article I pulled from a website called KQED that explains this phenomenon. Essentially, being online lowers your inhibitions. This often results in people either behaving meaner or opening up more online than they normally would in face-to-face conversations. When people act meaner online, it can lead to hostile online environments. This is what researchers call toxic disinhibition. So overall, this toxic disinhibition creates an inappropriate outlet for angry cowards who can't stand up to people in their real life or feel out of control of their circumstances, as if they've never heard of journaling or kickboxing. You know, stuff that is actually effective and free appropriate ways to diffuse tension. Well, I mean, kickboxing may not be free if you take classes at a gym, of course. But shit! You can easily just do kickboxing in your own home by watching free videos on YouTube. Anyway, my point being is that there are more productive ways to let off steam than spewing hate to strangers online. Now, I am aware now that life itself is not a bunch of sunshine and rainbows. I'm not one of those toxic positivity preachers. Heightened emotions within themselves are not negative or wrong. They're meant to prompt you into a state of reflection and see what needs changing or improving about oneself or a situation. Something I learned when I used to do children's educational puppetry. Is that a future video? Maybe, if I can find enough to say about it. Anyway, moving on. There is a time and a place to express heightened emotional experiences, as well as productive ways to communicate them in words to people that doesn't cause unnecessary issues like fighting just to win. And I just don't think that strangers on the internet are appropriate punching bags for unresolved personal problems. Like, if one wants to express any kind of tension in the digital landscape, then they should put it into their own creative platform that they own and they are the rightful agency of, like TikToks or blog posts or a YouTube channel like this one. And speaking of, I'm not saying I'm completely innocent of feeding into the negativity that is the main driving force of internet culture. I have made videos before where I had the intent of pushing people's buttons just for views. And back when I was super active on Threads earlier this year, sometimes I would throw in a 2-cent comment where the action of either blocking or ignoring would have sufficed. But I do think going through this kind of angsty, mouthy teenage phase of my digital blueprint was necessary for my personal growth and taught me how to spend my energy wisely when it comes to naysayers and pushback from people who aren't aligned with me and my vibe. Because when I would just feed the flames of these negative Nellies and hateful commenters with a reactive quip or witty comeback, it would just trigger my anxiety and I would constantly be opening and closing the app so that I could be ready to hit back. And over time, it was just disrupting my inner peace and really not worth the trouble. But now whenever someone makes an ugly or unnecessary comment on anything that I post, whether it's here on YouTube or on Threads, I just block the motherfuckers. And let me tell you, it can be so goddamn tempting to give mouth right back to the people that you know just want to start something out of something completely innocent. Like that video I did on Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce a while ago. I mean, I don't know why, but it got so much unnecessary hate. I mean, you can't see the hate anymore because I blocked all those assholes. But I didn't even say anything negative about Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce. I was just shipping them as a great, fun-loving couple. And people still decided to jump at my throat and disown all of their insecurities and problems and project them onto me. A complete and total stranger that they are bothered by not seeing eye to eye can just simply ignore and move on without a gun to their head. Like if somebody comes across something online where an idea or belief that they don't agree with is being presented, nobody is being held at gunpoint or being threatened with their life to leave a mean comment. Or if somebody really does want to see improvement in a certain creator or author's work, they can do it without writing a full-blown essay about how wrong, stupid, or problematic the creator or author is. But like with everything on this channel, that's just how I view it. I'm a Libra moon and diplomacy is the key to my heart. If you don't understand my astrology references at this point, let me just read your birth chart, please. Let me give you a basic personality chart reading from my online store, Just Cosmic Witchy Things. And maybe one day we can level up our dynamic from your favorite neurodivergent content creator to your very own personal astrologer. You know, where you get to actually talk to me, and I get to know you on an intimate level by dissecting your soul through your birth chart. Tempting, no? If yes, you can find out more in the link on my main channel page, cause up yours, YouTube. I'm not giving you my ID just so I can have clickable links in my description. So to wrap up this video in a pretty little philosophical bow, I just want to leave you and me, I'm not excluding myself from needing to remember it, with that one Gandhi quote where he doesn't say be the change you want to see in the world, but we mirror the world. All the tendencies present in the outer world are to be found in the world of our body. If we could change ourselves, all the tendencies present in the outer world are to be found in the world of our body. If we could change ourselves, the tendencies in the world would also change. As a man changes his own nature, so does the attitude of the world change toward him. This is the divine mystery supreme. A wonderful thing it is and the source of our own happiness. We need not wait to see what others do. Mahatma Gandhi. So he didn't say the actual words, be the change you want to see in the world. That is the all-encompassing message of his words. I mean, call me a blind optimist, but I truly do think that the internet and its communities can be a positive and wholesome place if you choose to follow and interact with good content and discourse that uplifts, inspires, and is informative from a good place. Instead of just jumping on hate trains, giving into rage bait, and any other online behaviors that turns the internet into an insufferable pit of misery instead of a fun reprieve from real life. And if you made it to the very end of this video, I just gotta say thank you from the bottom of my heart for either watching or listening to me info dump and yap on endlessly when you could have been doing anything else with your time. Your viewership or listenership never goes unacknowledged, and I'm more grateful to you than you will ever know. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, share with a friend, and if you and I are a true vibe match, then hey, go ahead and join my emotional support coven. That's what I call the subscribers of this channel. I mean, you don't gotta do anything drastic. This isn't middle school truth or dare. All you gotta do is just take your finger and tap where it says subscribe on the screen like this. Bing! And be sure to turn your notifications on because you'll get the flex of being amongst one of the first to view future new video drops. Anyway, I enjoyed the hang and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!